Hey there, friend. Pull up a chair. I've got a story for you, one that starts with a whisper of doubt and ends in a roar of reckoning. It's about the kind of truth that doesn't bend, the kind that reshapes everything it touches. If you've ever felt like the ground under your feet was a lie, this one's for you. And if standing tall in the face of someone else's mess lights a fire in you, stick around. Hit that subscribe if you haven't, it's free. And it means we keep sharing these raw, real tales that remind us peace isn't free. Sometimes you have to burn the illusions to find it. All right, let's dive in. Picture this. It's a rainy Thursday evening in our cozy craftsman bungalow on Elmwood Lane, the kind of neighborhood where maple trees arch over the streets like protective arms, and porch lights flicker on one by one against the dusk. I'm standing in the middle of our living room, arms wrapped around myself like a shield, staring down the man I thought was my forever. Lucas Hale, my husband of 7 years, towers there with his jaw clenched, those storm gray eyes of his flashing like thunder. He's not yelling, not yet, but his words slice clean through the air between us. Alina, you will say you're sorry to Vivian, or I swear, this ends. Divorce papers on the table by morning. His voice is low, controlled, the way he gets when he's closing a deal at his finance firm downtown. But this isn't a boardroom negotiation. This is him drawing a line in the sand of our marriage, demanding I grovel to his so-called innocent confidant because my sharp words last week left her in tears, my honesty pointing out how their late-night chats and stolen glances felt like more than friendship had wounded her delicate ego. And now, he's weaponizing our vows against me. I meet his gaze, my heart pounding like a war drum in my chest. The room smells of the chamomile tea I brewed to steady my nerves, now gone cold on the side table. Framed photos of us smiling on hikes, laughing at beach sunsets line the mantel, mocking the fracture widening beneath our feet. For a split second, I see the Lucas I fell for, the one who surprised me with wildflower bouquets just because, who whispered promises under starlit skies. But that's faded, hasn't it? Replaced by this stranger who prioritizes her feelings over mine. Fine, I say, my voice steady as steel, though inside, something cracks wide open. I'll apologize, but we'll do it right at her place, with Nathan there too. Everyone hears it. His face softens, a triumphant glint in his eye, like he's just won a battle he didn't know was a trap. He nods, already texting her, oblivious to the storm I'm about to unleash. As he turns away, I feel it settle in my bones. Not fear, not heartbreak yet, but a fierce, unyielding clarity. This isn't surrender, this is my checkmate. But I'm jumping ahead. Let me take you back to the sun-dappled days when our world felt unbreakable, when I, Alina Harper, believed I'd found the kind of love that poets chase. Lucas and I collided at a harvest festival in the rolling hills outside Portland, Oregon, back in those golden September afternoons where the air hums with cider steam and laughter. I was there sketching the pumpkin patches for a freelance illustration gig, my sketchpad tucked under my arm, charcoal smudges on my fingers. He was manning a booth for his company's community outreach, handing out branded water bottles with that easy grin that could disarm a room. Our eyes locked over a hay bale maze, and just like that, we were lost in conversation. He asked about the wild strokes in my drawings, really listened as I rambled about capturing light's fleeting dance on autumn leaves. I teased him about his perfectly knotted tie amid the chaos of face-painted kids and folk fiddles. We wandered the festival for hours, sharing funnel cakes dusted with powdered sugar, our shoulders brushing like fate's gentle nudge. By sunset, as fireflies blinked to life, he asked for my number with a vulnerability that hooked me deep. I don't want this day to end here, he said. And damn if I didn't feel the same pull. We dated for 2 whirlwind years, building something solid amid the city's rhythm. Our first real adventure, a weekend cabin in the Cascades, where rain pattered on the tin roof while we roasted marshmallows and dreamed aloud about a home with a wraparound porch, kids' laughter echoing through it, travels to hidden coastal towns where the waves crash like secrets. He remembered the little things, how I take my espresso with a twist of lemon, not sugar, how a single peony in a vase could brighten my whole studio. When he proposed on a fog-kissed morning hike, down on one knee amid dew-kissed ferns, ring glinting like a captured star, I said yes without a breath of hesitation. Our wedding was intimate Magica vineyard affair, under sprawling arbors heavy with grapes, fairy lights twinkling like captured fireflies, 50 souls, the ones who truly knew us, my artist mom tearing up during toasts, his logistics savvy dad clapping him on the back with pride. I wore lace that whispered against my skin, simple and flowing, and Lucas, he wept through his vows, voice cracking on promises of unwavering partnership. We danced barefoot in the grass to an old jazz tune, the world narrowing to just us, swaying under a canopy of stars. We nested in a sunlit loft apartment overlooking the Willamette River, where foghorns moaned like distant lovers at dawn. I freelanced as an illustrator from a corner desk piled with watercolors and mood boards, crafting book covers that bled emotion onto pages. Lucas commuted to his high-rise office, crunching numbers for global shipments, home by 7 with stories of quirky clients that made me laugh till my sides ached. We divvied chores like a well-oiled team, me handling the creative chaos of meal planning, him tackling the spreadsheets. Sundays were sacred. Farmers market halls turned into experimental brunches, flower-dusted counters, and stolen kisses amid sizzling. We whispered about expanding our family someday, maybe a golden retriever first to test the waters. Life hummed with that quiet certainty, the kind you build brick by brick, believing it'll stand forever. Oh, how illusions shatter slow. The first hairline fracture appeared 6 months in when Lucas burst through the door one crisp autumn evening, cheeks flushed like he'd run from the office. Alina, you won't believe it, my old college roommate, Vivian, is relocating here from Seattle. After years in tech consulting up north, she's back for good. His eyes sparkled with that boyish nostalgia, painting her as this force of nature, whip-smart, with a laugh that could rally a crowd, the one who'd dragged him through all-night cram sessions and spontaneous road trips to the coast. They'd been thick as thieves in those dorm days, plotting world domination over cheap ramen. I smiled, genuinely thrilled. Friendships like that are lifelines, right? I had my own scattered Krugel pals from art school, trading sketches and wine-fueled rants via video calls. Sounds perfect, I said, clinking glasses as he spun tales of their antics. When we met her at a harborside bistro, waves lapping against the docks, salt air mingling with garlic from the kitchen, Vivian arrived like a polished storm, tailored blazer over jeans that screamed quiet luxury, auburn waves framing a face that commanded attention. Her handshake was firm, her practiced charm wrapping around you like velvet. But from the jump, something hummed off-key. Lucas and Vivian slipped into sync like they'd never parted, finishing quips about infamous professors, reenacting a disastrous group project with exaggerated flair. I chimed in where I could, laughing at punchlines I half grasped. But mostly I floated on the edges, an audience to their private play. Nathan, her husband, a soft-spoken engineer with wire-rimmed glasses and a penchant for puzzles, was there too, nursing a soda, his smiles polite but distant. Midway through appetizers, as they dissolved into giggles over a shared memory, our eyes met across the table. In that flicker, I caught it, a silent nod of solidarity. Two outsiders clocking the script we weren't written into. The cracks widened subtly, like roots prying stone apart. Texts started pinging during our quiet evenings, movie nights on the couch. My head on his shoulder, the glow of the screen painting our faces blue. Buzz, he'd glance, thumbs flying, murmur, just Vivian, quick work thing. Buzz by credits. He'd fired off a dozen replies. Her crisis du jour, pulling him away. She's swamped with a merger, he'd say, apologetic but not enough to silence it next time. Then calls at dawn, her voice tinny through the speaker as he paced the kitchen, consoling her over rough patches with Nathan. I'd stir coffee, biting back words, convincing myself this is what support looks like. Mature, unclinging, the real breach, the key fob, fiasco. One drizzly Tuesday, I emerged from my studio pinflex on my jeans. Ideas, buzzing to find Vivian ensconced on our velvet sofa, legs tucked under her, scrolling her tablet like she owned the place. Lucas hovers in the kitchenette, frothing oat milk for her latte. Hey, love. Viv's router crapped out mid-pitch, barring our signal. She beams up at me, all breezy gratitude, as if this were routine. I nod, throat tight, retreating to brew my own cup while they dissected deal strategies, her laughter pealing like bells I didn't ring. That night, over takeout pad ties steaming on our coffee table, I broach it gently. Lucas, maybe we chat before she swings by, set some ground rules. His fork pauses, eyes narrowing like I'd suggested locking the door on Charity. Elena's heart, Viv's rebuilding, Newtown, high-stakes job, marriage on the rocks. Real bonds don't need schedules, they just show up. His tone drips patience, as if I'm the child throwing a tantrum. From there, it snowballed. Every boundary I sketched, he redrew as my flaw. You're too guarded, he'd sigh. Can't you trust me with a friend? Doubt crept in like fog off the river maybe. I was the jealous type, the one who couldn't share the spotlight. I swallowed it, night after night, sketching alone while his phone glowed with her secrets. Our 7th anniversary snuck up, like a thief a velvet evening in May. Reservations at the lighthouse, a cliffside gem where the ocean crashes below and candle flames dance on linen. I'd curated it meticulously, the sapphire gown that hugged my curves, echoing the sea glass we'd collected on our honeymoon. A stroll along the bluff paths afterward, where we'd first confessed our fears and dreams. Back home, a hand-bound journal of our snapshots. From that festival spark to lazy Sundays tangled in sheets, we savored oysters and whispers until his phone erupted insistent, devouring his focus. Once, twice, a barrage, his brow furrowed, thumbs tapping furiously. Viv's spiraling big client fallout. Just need to assure her she's not sinking alone. I stared across the table, the waves roar, mocking my invisibility. Lucas, it's us tonight, our night. He blinked, as if surfacing from depths. I know, but she needs me. The irony choked me. Here I sat, adrift in our milestone, while he anchored her storm. That night, in our king bed, with its rumpled duvet smelling of salt air from an open window, he snored softly beside me. I lay awake, ceiling fan worry like accusations. For the first time, I named it aloud in my mind. Our bed holds 3 shadows, and mine's the faintest. Months blurred into a haze of forced normalcy, meat pasting on smiles. As Vivian dropped in for emergencies, Lucas defending her orbit like a zealot, I buried myself in commissions, illustrating fierce heroines who claimed their stories unapologetically, while mine frayed at the edges. Then, Fator, Karma handed me the key. A stormy Wednesday in November, my tablet glitches mid-mock-up for a children's book series, deadline looming like a guillotine. Files vanish into digital ether. Panic surges hot in my veins. Lucas's sleek MacBook sits idle in his study, a sanctuary of leather-bound ledgers and framed merit awards. Use it anytime, he'd insisted. No secrets between us. I booted up. The screen's glow harsh against the rain-lashed windows. Log into my cloud drive. I dive back in, fingers flying over keys, racing the clock. Halfway through, I need last year's tax forms for a fiscal illustration detail. His folders are meticulous, labeled with crisp efficiency. There, amid spreadsheets and invoices, a thumb drive icon marked eyes only. My pulse skips. Why hide when we're an open book? Curiosity wars with caution, but instinct wins. I click. Avalanche. A trove of files cascades open. Timestamps, stretching for years back. Grainy photos of Lucas and Vivian at Hidden Gem Cafe. See the seaside perch. A tucked-away spot with harbor views he'd never suggested for us. Them leaning close over steaming mugs, her hand brushing his eyes, locked in that electric hush of shared confessions. Selfies from coastal drives, wind-tousled and grinning like conspirators. Then the text's endless screenshots, archived like treasures. I clicked the earliest, 1:47 a.m., 2 years prior. Vivian, ever wonder if we'd chosen differently back in school? If we'd leaped instead of lingering, as just friends? Lucas, replying at 1:50, more nights than I care to admit. But what we've got now, it's irreplaceable. My breath catches ragged in the quiet study. I scroll, devouring the progression. Her venting marital voids with Nathan, him echoing with veiled dissatisfactions about feeling truly known. Pet names slipping in my anchor. Spark in the dark. Gifts logged in emails. A cashmere wrap 324 Hummels. Inscribed, to Thean. Rarities from Arfert's Tough Weeks 324. Hermils Thunbert. Inscribed, to Thean. Rarities from Arfert's Tough Weeks 95. Credit card pulls reveal the rhythm. Every other Friday. $60 to 80 hits at the Driftwood Diner. A no reservations nook by the marina. His calendar. Recurring slots. Casual sync. 2-hour voids he'd filled with her, not me. Hours dissolve. My deadline ghosts by unanswered. Numb. I catalog it. All screenshots timestamped. Charges cross-referenced. Photos zoomed for micro-expressions of intimacy. This isn't flirtation. It's a shadow marriage. Emotional threads woven tighter than ours. And the gap. Crystal, now. You're overthinking when I flagged her intrusions. A smokescreen for his divided heart. I was the side quest. She, the epic. By dusk, rain easing to a patter. I've copied it to a hidden drive, steel resolve forging in my core. No tears yet, just the cold burn of vindication. My instincts weren't paranoia, they were prophecy. Dinner, simmers garlic, herb salmon, His favorite has I set the table with our everyday stoneware, soft jazz, crooning from the speakers. He breezes in at 6:52, tie askew, planting a peck on my temple. Smells divine, brutal day deals dragging. I nod, watching him unwind, sweats on, bourbon neat in hand, phone in lap. 15 minutes of feigned domestic bliss. Then I glide over with his laptop aglow on the eyes-only folder. I perch on the ottoman opposite, angling the screen like a guillotine blade. Explain this, Lucas. His eyes flick up, confusion blooming to horror in a heartbeat. The folder's damning gallery stares back, their faces frozen in forbidden warmth. Panic flares raw, unmasked before defensiveness slams down like a portcullis. You rifled through my stuff, Alina. That's a breach. Private means private. I lean in, voice even as lake ice. My tabla died mid-dead, needed taxes. Found this instead for years of clandestine coffees, midnight musings on what-ifs, gifts that scream more than mates. This is emotional treason. Lucas, own it. He surges up, pacing the Persian rug, words tumbling like debris. You're twisting mateship into scandal. Viv and I, history deep as oceans, late chats, support, lunches, routine. You're the one projecting shadows where there's light, always have been, with your walls and doubts. The dance drags 2 hours, me laying evidence bare, him pirouetting the texts as harmless hypotheticals, charges as budgeted breaks. Every boundary I invoke, flipped to my possessiveness, my inability to grasp platonic depth, exhaustion clause, but I press, craving his surrender. Then, the ultimatum drops, arms folded like a general's decree. Truth is, Alina, you owe Viv the sorry. She's bent over backward welcoming you, despite your frost. You've iced her out, made her feel small. Apologize, or we're done. I can't tether myself to suspicion forever. Silence crashes, thick as fog. His stance screams victory, certain I'll fold to preserve us. But in that void, clarity ignites. He wants contrition. He'll drown in revelation. All right, I murmur, serene as a blade's edge. Her place, Nathan present. Full audience for my amends. Relief floods him. He beams, texting logistics. Blind to the inferno, banking. Friday, blurs and prep. I hoard evidence on encrypted clouds. Print stacks for ironclad proof. Bullet point apology he scripts. I parrot it back, feigning humility acknowledge my flaws, laud her grace, pledge harmony. He beams, hugging me, fierce, proud of you, love. This heals us. I hug return, tasting deception's bitter ash. That night, tangled in sheets, his snores steady. I stare at moon-silvered walls, doubts whispering, is this vengeance or valor? But memories surge anniversary neglect. Belittled instincts, the slow poison of pretense and resolve hardens. This isn't spite, it's salvation. For me, for Nathan, too, that quiet sentinel whose eyes had mirrored my unease. I dial him Saturday morn, post Lucas's departure, heart hammering as rings echo. Nathan, Alina, hail Lucas's wife. Pause, his voice warm gravel. Alina, all good. I steady. Lucas insists I visit tomorrow to atone to Vivian. Wants you there. I'll ensure you're home. Beat, then, alert steel, count me in. No probes, just knowing. And Nathan, suspicions you've harbored, proof incoming. You merit truth. His exhale cracks. God, Alina, thanks for seeing it. We disconnect, allies forged in shadow. Saturday dawns crisp, evergreens sharp against cerulean skies. I glide through motion's navy sheath dress, understated poise while Lucas frets, coaching phrasing like a director. The Bordeaux we tote, a $120 vintage gift bag finery for his grand gesture. Drive to their cedar-shingled home in Willow Heights, winds through vine-draped lanes. He pats my thigh, extolling maturity, our rebirth. I gaze at passing orchards, golden leaves swirling like omens, expressions schooled neutral. He probes for cracks. I yield none. We arrive 6:45 sharp, porch lanterns casting amber pools. Vivian swings the door, radiance dialed high, emerald blouse hugging her frame, chignon artful, smile, a victor's crown. Elena, Lucas enter! This mends fences beautifully. She air kisses eyes, appraising my submission. Nathan materializes from the din, posture coiled, gaze locking mine in silent pactredi resolute. We settle in their vaulted living room, riverstone fireplace crackling, charcuterie artfully arrayed on walnut low tables, figs, artisanal cheeses, crystal flutes aglow with rose. Vivian and Nathan on the leather Chesterfield, a chasm of space. Between, we claim wingbacks. Opposite, the table a neutral zone. Lucas nods encouragement, smug as a king. Vivian purchase, expectant, magnanimous mask firm. Nathan, vigilant, a coiled spring. I set my flute down clink, echoing portentous and lock eyes with Vivian, voice silk over gravel. Vivian, Lucas nailed it. I owe you amends. Pause. Her lips curve, validated. Lucas exhales, bliss. Nathan's gaze sharpens. But not for imagined slights. For my silence the years I let your entanglement with my husband fester unchecked, gaslit into doubting my sight. Air thickens, electric. Lucas stammers. Elena, stop. I silence him with a palm, unyielding. Eyes on Vivian's fracturing poise. Sorry for biting my tongue while you two carved secret hours at the driftwood. Texted till dawn, on roads untrod. Gifted tokens, no friend warrants. I extend my phone to Nathan, folder open. Timeline damning. He claims it, scrolls color fleeing his face. Jaw granite as confessions parade. Her what if we'd claimed each other. Met by Lucas's too often, but our now endures. Receipts, cascade, wraps, tease, blooms. How long? Nathan's query slices, Arctic. Vivian crumbles, mascara rivers, misread, pure friendship, no lines crossed. But Nathan's not buying smoke, didn't query beds. Queried hearts. How long the charade, making me the fool for sensing chaos. Erupts. Lucas lunges burble, Elena's vendetta jealousy's lens. But evidence mutes him. Nathan tallies, spends $9,200 on stealth suppers while Vivian wails, please. I rise, purse in hand, turning to Lucas. You craved apology for truths. Sting delivered, with witnesses, as decreed. Your divorce threat, my retort. To Nathan, copies emailed all of it. Forge your path. Sorry I delayed your clarity. Lucas clutches my wrist, desperation raw. Stay talk please, we're salvageable. I wrench free, marks blooming red. Talk to attorneys. Lucas, I'm no longer the spare in your trio. I slip into twilight, door ceiling sobs and salvos behind. Suburban hush, envelops crickets chirping, distant laughter from barbecue's worlds, untouched by my quake. Uber hums up, I sink in, streets blurring, chest heaving with release's wild ache. Guilt flickers shattered homes, exposed wounds but relief eclipses. No more masquerade. Home's loft looms altered, air lighter sands his shadow. Wine poured, I curl on the chaise, awaiting fallout. He shatters in at 11:53, disheveled specter, eyes puffy, shirt askew. How could you eviscerate us? Parade privates, like trophies, rage spirals to please. Therapy, distance I'll mend. I counter, divorce filings, Monday. His cycle churns plain, bargain, belittle till I barricade in our room. His pacing fading to defeat. Dawn brings his reformed act shadowing me, vows of renewal. I stonewall, dialing Mira Langford by noon, shark attorney, lauded for dismantling deceivers. Her skyline sweet gleams. Over 2 hours, I unveil my arsenal. Myra, silver-streaked and laser-eyed, dissects, ironclad deceit pattern, diverted funds, boundary breaches, will leverage for equity, assets split, your loft retained, his alimony offset. She preps counters to his invasion spin, legit access. Discovery demands scrutiny. I sign on, armor donned, 2 weeks post-blast. Elijah's email pings, gratitude. He'd petitioned dissolution that Tuesday. Evidence arming his resolve against years gaslight. Your words freed me from self-doubt's cage. Coffee, no strings, just shared scars. We convene at Harbor Brew, fog veiling the marina. Nathan's transformed shoulders squared, eyes clear of fog. Over lattes, we unpack parallels, her glow at Lucas's pings, his flagged unease dismissed as sensitivity. Laughter weaves in, cathartic, binding us in battle-won kinship. Whispers filter, Lucas and Vivian's union fizzles post-filings. 3 months of friction. Her extravagance clashing his post-split thrift, his steadiness grating her thrill chase. Affairs spark, foe as fool's gold, crumbling in daylight's grind. Vindication warms, not scorches proof their depth was delusion. Final decree signs in Myra's sun-drenched boardroom. July heat, baking the city. Assets fair, loft mine. Fees halved his haste to bury skeletons. Each flourished severs. Elena Harper, unbound. No sorrow's weight, just lift, like shedding sodden wings. Streets pulse, vibrant as I emerge. Breeze kissing freed skin. Wednesdays with Nathan Bloom, organic from trauma trades to dreams voiced. He geeks over vintage jazz vinyls. I gush experimental inks. April dusk. He ventures. Dinner alone that new tuppa spot care to explore. Nervous lilt charms. I grin. Lead on. We tiptoe trust a tender shoot butt. Roots delve honest. No facades. 8 months. Posting. Fate ambushes at Riverside Market. My cart brimming. Hands clash for heirloom tomatoes. We recoil, then freeze. Lucas thinner, silver threading his temples. Weariness etching deep. Alina, thriving. Simple truth. Yes, studio booming. Hikes, reclaiming weekends. Life mine. He nods. Words tumbling soft. I botched it. All ignored your truths. Chased ghosts. Sorry, bone deep. Genuine. Tardy. Curiosity tugs. Vivian. Shadow crosses. Faded fast secrets don't sustain. Solo now. Rebuilding raw. We part civil. Echoes of what was my loft. Reborn shelves groaning with dog-eared fantasies. Walls splashed in bold abstracts from a pan-comers. Shays angled for river sunsets solo. Quietude sings. Not size space for breath. UNSHARED. Nathan and I. Steady unfurled as nights in dim lounges. Trail treks, yielding panoramic peace. We've learned, love thrives not in perfection, but persistence through fractures. That detonated eve I revisit in quiet hours. Could gentler words have sufficed? But no, some fires forge, don't flicker. Lucas sought my kneel for her peace. I rose, torch in hand, illuminating ruins to build anew. Here's the heart of it, whispered fierce. Never compel amends from a soul who wields truth like lightning. We don't yield to illusions, we shatter them. I didn't buy blazed. And in that blaze, I unearthed a woman unbreakable, living loud in her light. Women like us, we apologize for the hush we held too long. When we speak, worlds realign. What hit you hardest, the laptop's cold reveal, or that living room thunderclap? Spill in the comments, let's unpack. If this tale of fierce reclamation stirred you, smash like, share with the sister in the trenches. More stories of unbowed spirits coming, stay tuned. You've got this. We all do.